Hi, I'm Katie Poozer, Senior Planned Giving Officer at the Environmental Defense Fund, and I'm with my colleague and expert, Allison Dowd.
Hi, I'm Allison Dowd, and I'm the Senior Manager for Corporate Sustainability at the Environmental Defense Fund.
Allison, it's a pleasure to have you here today. We're here to answer a question that a longtime EDF supporter posed, and Allison, I knew you were the perfect person to answer the question. The supporter wanted to know what he could do in his senior living community to make his living space more sustainable. Allison Dowd is our Senior Manager of Corporate Sustainability at EDF. She leads our efforts to advance sustainability initiatives in business operations and sustainable office design, and collaborates to enhance greenhouse gas emissions tracking and reductions. She is a true zero waste advisor, WELL AP, which integrates human health into building design, and LEED Green Associate, which integrates sustainability into building design. Allison distilled the answer to the question the supporter posed into 7 key areas, and you'll find her short write-up attached to the email. She's with us today to review her findings. And like all good science, this question and conversation will certainly lead to more good questions. As such, we're offering a live question and answer session with Allison, and the details for that are in the email. Allison, how did you approach this question?
Thanks, Katie. This was an exciting thing to think about. So I had assistance from other EDF colleagues who have experience in residential sustainability when we started to think about this. I primarily think about how corporate institutions can best steward our Earth. And a key focus for me has been EDF's offices and finding ways we can reduce, measure, and mitigate the environmental impacts of our offices. A lot of these strategies, including those around lighting, waste, heating and cooling, and other areas, apply to communities and any individuals who are interested in living more sustainably.
That's great. I know that everyone listening wants to live more sustainably, but I have to address the elephant in the room. We know that the majority of emissions and waste are from corporations. The work our EDF Plus Biz group and you do to ensure they are being responsible stewards is vital. EDF is a results-oriented organization, and I know our supporters appreciate that. With that in mind, what about our individual impact? Do our personal choices in our homes or in our communities make a difference?
Yes, they do. We need as many individuals making sustainable choices as possible. Even if it's just one choice, like beginning to recycle or switching out your light bulbs for LEDs, these actions absolutely make an impact. And there's a concept called zero waste, in which an individual or company sends no waste to landfills and everything is either recycled or reused. And you had mentioned results earlier, and another value of EDF's is optimism, which means that we embrace ambitious environmental goals while taking into account real-world dynamics. And there's a quote about zero waste that sums this optimism up perfectly. It goes, quote, "We don't need a handful of people doing zero waste perfectly. We need millions of people doing it imperfectly." I love this quote because I think it applies to sustainable and green living in general. We don't need a handful of people practicing perfect sustainable living. We need millions of people making small decisions in their daily lives to be more sustainable.
That's really refreshing to hear, Allison. Thank you. We all have this sheet that you prepared with the specific opportunities to become more sustainable at an individual level in our homes. Outside of what's on the sheet, are there any other benefits or details that you'd like to share with us about this project?
Yeah, so when we set forth identifying where the most impactful changes can be made in individual homes and retirement communities, we found 7 areas of impact that are listed in the sheet. And those are lighting, heating and cooling, water, waste, household cleaning products, appliances and materials, and landscaping. And the first thing that I'd like to highlight is impacting these areas doesn't have to cost a lot, actually. For instance, when thinking about changing out your light bulbs, before you go buy LEDs, check with your power provider. They actually may offer these for free. And then when thinking about your heating and cooling, instead of buying something to stop the draft from the bottom of a door, use a rolled up towel instead. And you don't have to replace your toilet to get water savings. You can simply put a rock in the tank to reduce the amount of water your toilet uses overall. What's really interesting about these 7 areas is that they don't just have energy efficiency benefits, they also have many other positive externalities. For instance, installing a motion sensor light can help reduce energy usage in a common area, but it can also increase the safety of residents because as residents come in, they don't have to search for a light switch if they have their hands full, they're not trying to juggle and find a light switch, so it increases their overall safety. In some of EDF's work, we found that insulating boilers in New York City buildings not only improved energy efficiency, but it actually also improved the overall maintenance in the building because the maintenance staff were no longer having to put themselves at risk by being near dangerously hot pipes a lot of the time. So they were able to focus on other areas and increase the overall maintenance of the building. And then when thinking about landscaping, the concept of xeriscaping is really about choosing native plants that need as little irrigation as possible and letting your landscape be natural. And we all know that there are so many benefits to being in and surrounded by nature. So letting your landscape be a little bit more natural around you can provide benefits for the environment and also benefits for the people that live near that landscape.
Thank you, Allison. That is very interesting. We appreciate you for preparing the write-up and joining us for this conversation. We look forward to seeing you again at the live question and answer session. Again, the details are in the email. For those of you listening, I must say thank you to you too. Thank you for your concern for our environment and your stewardship of our environment. Thank you for your support of EDF. Your gifts, if they are monthly, annually, through our Catalyst Circle, or in your will or trust, are critically important to our mission. EDF exists to preserve the natural systems on which all life depends. I hope that you'll take this recording, the sheet, and share it with your friends and family. I hope you'll invite them to our live question and answer session. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you.